because it is said
Listen to
that
a
most
song that will
postmoderns would love,
done-
to
sung
dance,
by
so they
Hold
don't
On
care about
Ministries.
the basic.
Well,
If we
that's
could
enough.
take
Can
this
you
like
sing
exercise
a
programs,
That's enough.
what are
For the talents, maybe, yeah, that's
No.
a good question. Definitely, question. So maybe it's a question that most of the teams usually have.
Welcome to Energ-Aid. I am your host, Adela Chokoto. Today I have a very interesting topic for you. We will be talking about time management. But before we begin, I had the privilege of meeting some teens at Malawi College of Accountancy, MCA, and Africa University. I asked them questions on time management, and this is what they had to say.
I'm Precious Mdare, and I'm 17 years old.
Precious, do you spontaneously go through your day, or do you have a schedule?
I do have a schedule.
What is it?
In weekdays, I go to school, I come to school, and in weekends, I do some stuff.
What stuff?
Okay, on Sunday, I go to church, and on Saturday, I just stay home, do nothing.
Okay, thank you very much, Precious.
Thank you.
I'm Aline Jonjo Banda, and I'm 17 years old.
Aline, what are your hobbies and how often do you do them?
I love reading novels, listening to music, and I usually do them on my free time.
Is that all? Do you do them like after school or like every day on a daily basis?
That's mostly after school, daily, before I go to bed or after I study. Yeah.
I'm Neon Dovi and I'm 21 years old.
What do you do after school?
I like baking, I like cooking, I like reading books. Yeah, that's what I do during my free time after school.
I'm Jacqueline Lipipa, I'm 20 years old.
Jacqueline, do you have any priority for each day? And how do you make sure you get it done, if you have any?
Yeah, my only priority that I always think to do is to do what is right and what is beneficial for that day. So I do make my timetable, like time management, to see how I'm gonna work it out. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you.
So that's what teens at MCA and Africa University had to say about time management. Like I said, we will be talking about time management. And the question we want to answer today is, are you wasting your days? Am I wasting my days? In studio, here to help me today is Pastor JAG Phiri, and he will help us understand what time management is all about, the principles of time management, the benefits of time management. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you.
Now, do you have a special area in your pastoring?
Yeah, actually, I'm a biblical scholar. My field is biblical studies.
Mm-hmm.
That's my field.
All right.
Yes.
Now, time management is something that we teens struggle with. Teens are said to be the busiest people on earth. And I believe that's true because we've got school to go to 5 days a week. Some people go 6 days a week. Others go 7 days a week. You have homework to do. You have chores to do at home. You have friends to keep. You have family relationships to maintain. And there are just so many things involved. And then above it all, then we have the time that we need to spend with God. There's just so much to do in each day. How can we balance our lives as teens?
Yeah, balancing
Your life.
your life.
Yeah.
It's quite an art, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first thing you need to understand is the importance of time.
Mm-hmm.
Life is time.
Yes, it is.
Even for argument's sake,
Mm-hmm.
just imagine if there's no time, it's hard to imagine life in existence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you understand that life is made out of time, then it really helps you to understand the basic principles of how you can manage your life.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, the first thing you need to understand is what do you want to achieve in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about goals.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to achieve? And when do I want to achieve?
Yes.
That will help you to now realize what should be your priorities. I want to go to a party, I want to visit my friend, I want to go to school, do all these things on the same level. or there could be some things you would say, well, I'll do them later than this. So time management is all about conscious control over your time. What do you want to happen? When do you want it to happen? And how do you want it to happen? So the first thing I would suggest is to understand what do you want to achieve, what do you want to do, and what do you want to set as your goals. And then prioritize them. Give a list on what you want to do, when and how.
And what would be the benefits of time management? I'm sure someone sitting there might be wondering, you know, what do I gain from managing my time?
Yes. There are lots of benefits you can already see. If you manage time, you are managing your life.
Yes, yes.
You are able to achieve a lot of things in your life because you're able to manage. Because if you don't manage your life or your time, whether you like it or not, others are going to manage it for you, right? So they'll call you for a party, they call you for this, they call you for that. At the end of the day, you find you've done things for your friends, but you have done nothing for yourself.
Yes.
And you have lived a life which is empty and useless. At the end of the day, it spunks you with the depression, you know, regrets. Why did I not do this when my friends were able to do this and do that? So when you manage time, when you learn to manage time, you're increasing your satisfaction. So there's joy, there's satisfaction. I've been able to accomplish this, I've been able to accomplish that, I've been able to accomplish that. So it gives you a sense of satisfaction. But at the same time, it prevents you from unnecessary depression and stress in life. You know, the stress sometimes young people go through most often come in because there's things they should have done, but they've not done them. Somebody says, you see, your life has a way of spanking you when you have not done some things which you're supposed to do. And stress and depression is one way of life coming back to you to say, hey, why did you not do this? So if you manage time well, then you avoid those things. You live a happy life. At the same time, you are able to achieve and accomplish things you wanted to do in life.
So basically what you're saying is time management reduces stress and anxiety levels.
Yes.
And it prevents depression as well.
And it makes you to look more professional, organized. Yeah. Otherwise, somebody calls you for this, you go there. They call you for that, you go for that. You look to be disorganized. If you're a professional, then people begin to doubt whether you're really professional. So time management is something that makes you even marketable, if you want to need to use that term. You become marketable and you're able to achieve many things in your life.
Let's take a scenario where a teen needs to go to school. For example, they leave for school from 7 and come back at, let's say, about 3 in the afternoon. And then besides school, that the few hours they're there at school, when they come home, they have to do their assignments, let's say for about 5 subjects. They have to study for a test, and then they have to do their chores, and then maybe some prayer time. How would you suggest that they schedule their time so that they achieve all this, and maybe they have to be in bed at around...
It would be somehow tricky to say how do they do it, but I'll just maybe share a principle on how it would be done. You know, the first thing is, as I said, you need to know what is the most important thing that you want to do. So you've taught me about assignments, there are deadlines to be met. Maybe your teachers are telling you tomorrow I have to have this handed in. At the same time, your party is waiting for you, maybe at 7:30. Now you have to balance all those things. Which one should come first? If I lose my party, how much do I lose of my life? You know, it's something that can always come in again. But for my exams, for my grades, if I lose them, then it means I have to repeat the class. There's a lot of money to be involved in losses. So you'd want to see what is the most important thing for this time. So you put the first important, the most important things first. Do them. Give yourself a deadline to say, okay, I want to do them, say, in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Is it achievable in that time period you've set for yourself? So do them. And then you take the second, next thing that would be second to this. Do that. But make sure, as you've already said, you have the spare time or enough time for you to rest. Because if you don't spend time in resting, then you're really doing yourself a disservice. Somebody says, you see, if you ignore time to rest, there's a time when time will come back to you and force you to rest through illness, you know, which you don't want.
That's a good one.
So you really have to do that. So in short, look at what you have, list down, and prioritize. This is the best, the most important, or the most urgent. Deal with those. Sometimes something could be very urgent, but they may not be very important. For instance, I've just given you an example of a party and an exam. If I miss a party, I will not die. If I miss my exam tomorrow, what happens? I lose. So I would say, well, I'll forgo this, I'll go for the exam. So look at the urgency, but at the same time, the importance and the criticalness of the thing that you want to do, and put it at the first.
You mentioned something. You mentioned that the goals or activities must be achievable.
Yes.
It reminded me of an abbreviation that when we're managing our time,
Yes.
our goals and our activities, each goal or activity must be SMART. Now, SMART is an abbreviation.
Yes.
So every goal or activity that someone wants to achieve must be specific, that's
Yes.
for S, must be measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based, meaning a certain date, a specific date when it must be done and completed. So I think let's just go through each letter. So what do we mean when we say each activity should be specific?
Yeah, you see, you can't just say, I want to do something. What is that something you want to do? So by being specific, it's like, I want to go and visit Adela. At least I'm specific.
Yes, yes.
I'm not just trying to visit people. If you want to visit people, then you do, it's going to be even very, very difficult for you. Which way do you tend to? Which are the people that you want to visit? So by being specific, you identify the exact thing that you want to do. In this case, I want to finish my assignment. And now that is specific. And it has to be measurable. You have lots of assignments. The teacher at your college, whatever, where you are, may require you to finish the whole textbook. Maybe at least at the end of that semester. And you want to do it within a night. Is it realistic? Is it measurable? Can you measure? I did this. So you see, you have to be specific, measurable. It has to be something that you can go back and say, okay, from here I went to this far. It's measurable. Realistic, you're looking at the, or achievable as you put it.
Yes, achievable.
Is it something that I can achieve? Sometimes you put yourself goals which are not achievable. For instance, I want to visit all the people in Malawi. Is that achievable?
No.
So, well, it can be achievable, but it may require eternity for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You only live about 40, 50, at most 80 years. And you want to visit 16 million people, one after the other. It's something that is impossible. So you're setting yourself an realistic goal. So by being realistic, you're looking at something that can be achieved. And it is humanly possible to be done. It's achievable. So that's what it means. Time bound, as you already said, you can't just say, I want to visit Adela. When?
When?
Yeah, I have to know it. At least by 6:30 this evening, I want to visit Adela, and I make an appointment with her. And for how long am I going to be there? So it has also to be measurable, right? You don't just want to be there and spoil your time and spoil Adela's time. So it has to be time bound. I'll be there for maybe 1 hour or so. It helps you because it controls on how much you spend. Yeah.
Now, there's something that always suffers in our daily lives.
Yes.
And that's our spiritual time. That's our spiritual life, the time that we spend with God in each day.
Yes.
We find that most people, all they do is they wake up and maybe spend about 5 minutes or a minute praying to God, and then off they go to school. They come back, they don't even thank God for the day, and then they go back and they pray again. How can we, how can I put this? How can we accommodate God in our daily schedule?
I like the word you've used, the term accommodate. I wouldn't want to accommodate God in my life. If anything, I don't know, of course, for the lack of better term, we could still use the word accommodate, because to accommodate somebody, it means I have my own things, but now somebody's coming in as an addendum of my life. So I can say, well, how do I fit this thing into what I've already planned? Which is going to be a serious mistake when it comes to God, you know. I would suggest that God should be the first thing in our life. And all these other things should be accommodated within that kind of arrangement which I've put God
like
first.
that.
Yeah, so if I put God that as a first thing in my life, I'll not just spend a 1 minute talk to God. I will put him as the first thing, and I will spend as much time as I can. Of course, I've already talked of somebody who is smart, right? You have a specific goal, measurable, achievable, realistic, and you have a time-bound experience that you want to have. So it's not just a question because of saying God should be first, then I want to spend the whole day with God.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you're not smart. So but you put yourself before God, give yourself enough time. I would suggest maybe you wake up early in the morning, have maybe 30 minutes. You can say, I'm going to spend 30 minutes 20 minutes I'll read the word, 10 minutes I'll spend it in praying for my friends, myself, and all the other things. So in that way, you are able to balance. If you put God first, it actually also helps you in many other things, because that's the beginning of your wisdom. It comes in to lead you. Even the decisions you're going to make, the plans you're going to make for the day are going to be the best, because they're being pumped up by divine help. So I would suggest not to accommodate God, but put him first and accommodate all the other things into your plan.
Why do you think that teens find it so hard to manage their time? What do you think is the main problem?
Yeah, of course it will be tricky, because you see that people with different tastes. But on a general note, you'll notice that one thing that is a challenge to young people, the teenage group, they hardly have what they want to do specific. As you already said, you need to have something specific. For most of the young people that you see, they don't know what they want to do. So when there's something jumping up, they want to go for that. There's a noise going about, they want to go and see what is happening there, because they don't have something to guide them. So that is the challenge. I would suggest that if our teenagers are trained to identify what are the important things in their lives they would like to achieve, that will help them to focus on what they do. So they will not be derailed by anything that comes on their way, because they have something they want to do. And if you're mindful for what you want to do and you prioritize, it helps you to pave way for your forward movement and other things that can distract you. So you ask me the challenge, I think it's the lack of direction. Where do I want to go? You may wish to know that most people go in life without knowing what they want to do, and they realize too late. That's why you have this saying, they say life begins at 40. And I happen not to agree with that, by the way. So if you think your life begins at 40, you know what I'll tell you? You realize 40 years too late that you're supposed to live, which is a very bad and misleading kind of saying. So life begins when you are just born.
Yes.
And if you understand that, you have to know what you want to achieve. You are brought into this world for a unique purpose, and God wants you to achieve that. And what is that? If you can discover that the earliest possible in your lifetime, then you'll be able to be focused. So the problem is, most of us young people go in life, we don't know what to do. So we'll end up copying up whatever is coming on the way.
Now there's another an issue I can say. Most teens, especially we saw in the video at MC and Africa University, most teens have a schedule. I at one point also had a schedule for each day, so I would say from 5 o'clock to 5:30 I'll do this, that kind of schedule. But then you find that as days go by, sometimes you find that unexpected events happen and it messes up the schedule.
You wanted to do this, something comes up.
Yeah, something comes up and then
you to go there.
Yeah. So what would you suggest? Would you suggest people to come up with a schedule, or maybe
live a life free of schedules? I wouldn't suggest that you live a life without schedules, because if you do that, then you're defeating what we started with. You need to have a plan for your day, for your life, even for the whole of your years that you are anticipating to live, right? So I wouldn't suggest that you don't have a schedule, but I would suggest you must have some principle. The challenge that we find sometimes is most of us don't have the courage to say no. And you can't say no if you don't know what you want to achieve. So it all goes back to the same thing. You have to know, what is it that you want to achieve in that day? Does it really matter to you? Is it really important? How important is it to you? If you really value it, then you put it as your priority. Then it will help you to know when to say yes or when to say no. So I would suggest you not to discard the schedule. Keep the schedule, but add to your life a principle where you are able to say no to things which may take you away from your schedule. It's not being rude to tell you, Adela, I don't have time for this time. Please, can we schedule for another time? At least you appreciate, I'm interested to talk to you, I'm interested to share with you my time, but at this moment I have something that I want to achieve. So if we put ourselves in that habit of being able to say no, or in other words, being assertive, that's the word I would use. Being assertive, I'm happy you invited me to this party, but it coincides with my assignment. Excuse me for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for your input on this topic.
Thank you.
So before we continue, let's listen to an item of music entitled Take Time to Be Holy. Now it's time for our inspirational quotes. The first quote is, "We are all born with something common, and that's time. What you do with it is what matters." You see, when we're all born, that's when our clock begins. Like Pastor mentioned, that life begins when you are born. Each of us have 24 hours. And in fact, the next quote actually says, "Quit saying you don't have time. You have time for what you make time for in life." So there's no such thing as you don't have time. It's how you schedule your time that matters. Because all of us have 24 hours a day. So it's what you do with it that matters. And in fact, effective time management, the next quote says, starts with clear vision and goals. The pastor said as well, that if we don't know what we want to do, if we're not specific, if we're not smart about our goals, then we won't be able to manage our time effectively. Psalm 90 verse 12 says, "So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom." So, in conclusion, I'll just like to say that time management requires you to be focused. That simply means you need to know exactly what you're supposed to do. And it also requires you to be organized, knowing when to do a certain task and how you're going to do it. And lastly, I would like to say that time management is a gift from God. Not everyone can manage their time, but that doesn't mean you cannot work at it. So you might be asking, how can I begin to manage my time? Well, that's simple. I call these the 5 Ps. The first P is you need to plan. You need to know exactly what it is that you want to do that day. The second P, you need to prioritize. Once you've made your plan and your schedule that I want to do A, B, C, D, you look at what you've listed down and then you find what's more important, what should come first. So that may be maybe completing your assignments, it may be spending time with God, spending time with family, for example, for every day. Those are your 3 priorities for each day. The third P is you need to prepare. How well can you prepare for what it is that you want to do? The fourth P, you need to put it to action. That simply means actually doing the task. And then the fifth P is you need to pick your battles. Maybe there may be some things that may interfere with your schedule. So you need to pick your battles, and if any unexpected event happens, maybe you can choose how you're going to go about it. So I'll just mention the 5 Ps again. The first one is you need to plan. The second, you need to prioritize. The third P is you need to prepare. The fourth P, you need to put it to action. And the fifth P is you need to pick your battles. So I hope that this program has blessed you and has helped you, and I hope that you'll be able to manage your time more effectively. You were with me, your host, Adela and Pastor JAG Phiri today. We were talking about time management. Remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. See you next time.